Well, I'm gonna talk about this truck here a little bit today. Um, well, not so much the truck, but the dealer um, that I bought the truck from and who I was gonna have do my free services, which I had one of them done, but and any warranty work. Uh, so I'm gonna get on my soapbox here today regarding that. Um, they they ticked me off a little bit, and I don't plan to darken their door again. So I'll try to explain this story. So bear with me. But anyway, I'm about to spread some fertilizer here in a little bit, and just kind of waiting on the dew and everything to kind of dry up and burn off, and I'm gonna go to it. But anyway, while I'm waiting on that. Uh, in my last video, I noted to y'all I was scheduled to have the truck go in for uh, the exhaust leak to be looked at, and I had it scheduled to go in for that. And just to back up and recap a little bit there. I explained I took the truck in for its first oil and filter change at just shy of 15,000 miles. Now I've had this exhaust leak since, I don't know, the first couple of thousand miles is when I first noticed it. But I had all along in my head that I would just wait. It hadn't been a major problem, but it's there, and I wanted it resolved. So I had planned to just note it at my first service, and I figured they'd take a look at it then, as how I had done with other issues in the past with other vehicles and dealers. But anyway, they told me that needed to be scheduled, and then they would look at it then. So I scheduled an appointment, which was about a week from that date that I took it in for the oil change, where they were going to look at the exhaust leak. Well, here's what happened, and I know some of you may have been waiting to hear the outcome of this exhaust leak, because I noted that in the last video. But as of right now, the exhaust leak is still there. It has not been fixed. Um, but yeah, I took it in on that date they scheduled. I had it there early, uh, on the time that they in the morning that they had given me, and I had it there, pulled in. Uh, and a guy come up, and he was actually trying to open my driver's door before I even was turned the truck off and was undoing my seatbelt. But anyway, he plugs his little reader into the communication port there under the dash, which I reckon talks to their little iPads now, and they get information, I guess, from the truck that way. But he did that, and I told him what I was in there for, and I knew something wasn't right then, because the guy said, "Well, I don't see where you had your appointment, but we'll get you in today." And I was like, "Okay." And I said, "Well," I told him, it was a lady in the main office there on a computer, did the appointment the first time around. And he's like, "I'll look into that and see what's." And I was like, "Okay." So I dropped the truck off. I got a shuttle ride to work. Like I said, that was early that morning. And I waited almost to the day, never heard anything. I thought they'd let me know something by midday. This is about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I get a phone call from the guy, and he said, "Oh, I was just gonna let you know we're not gonna get around to looking at your truck today. If you can leave it over the weekend, we might get somebody to look at it on Saturday." And I was like, "No, weekends I'm busy. I'm working. I need the truck. I mean, I'm hauling fertilizer and liquid nitrogen and stuff. I mean, I gotta have my truck." And my uncle's truck's been in the shop too with transmission issues. So at that point in time, he's got it back now. But at that point in time, it was still in the shop. So I knew we were down a truck altogether if I left it. So I said, "No, I can't do that. I ain't come pick the truck up." He said, "Well, let's reschedule that for the next Thursday." I think, yeah, I dropped it off on a Friday the first time. He rescheduled me for a Thursday the next week. And that would have been this past week. So I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'll bring it back in Thursday." And he was like, "Well, just get it here as early as you can, and I'll make sure we have somebody look at it." And I was like, "Okay." So I did that, and what happened that Thursday was I had a meeting at work at 7 o'clock with some electricians, with some things going on with work. But so I needed to go in early that morning anyway. So on my way in, I was probably about 10 minutes out, and it was about 6:45. I said, "I'm going to call, see if I can get somebody and find out when their shuttle service is running so I know whether to go ahead and drop the truck off or going into work, meet with the electricians, and then take it in a little bit later." 'Cause I didn't figure I'd meet with electricians for all 30 minutes or so. So I called, and I got a guy, and I said, "Hey, when's your shuttle start running?" He said 7:30, and I said, "Okay." So I was going to drop my truck off today, and I didn't give him my name, tell him who it was, or what anything was going on. I just asked, when their show was running. And he said 7:30, and I said, "Well, I've got a meeting at 7. I'll bring it in just, shortly after 7:30 then." And the guy goes, "Are you the one with the exhaust leak?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well," he said, "with the weather and whatnot today, so we probably won't get to look at it again today either." So I'm like, "So you're telling me I might as well not even bring it in?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, we probably won't get around to it today." And yeah, there was some storms this past Thursday. They were later in the evening, and it was kind of a rainy day. Just that was it. But what in the world has the weather got to do with it? They got their nice big fancy shops inside and all, and I couldn't figure out why he would say that. I mean, we're not going to get around to it today with the weather and all like it is. So that just ticked me off. But while I was on the phone, was like, "Well, let's reschedule that for Tuesday of the next week," which would be April 5th now. And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I was just royally mad because I was like, "Why do you make these appointments? You schedule these appointments, but you can't look at it." It kind of baffled me. Um, so, um, what I decided to do that morning, I obviously didn't carry the truck in that day. Uh, I decided enough was enough on that. And I actually looked up RAM headquarters. Had to do a little digging, but I found a phone number, and I called it. I was like, "Somebody needs to know what's going on here, 'cause this just ain't right." Um, and I didn't want to call anybody in the dealer because I mean, dealers are dealers. They're gonna give you the runaround, and it's just what it is. So I called the 1-800 number that I had found, and I actually got a lady right off, and she said she was from Rams. She wanted to know what she could help me with, and I said, "Well," so I've been trying to get this exhaust leak issue looked at on my truck that I bought last fall, and I keep getting rescheduled on appointments and can't get nobody to look at it." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, so we need to get that looked at. That needs to be taken care of." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree." And she said, let me get some information. She got the VIN number and some other information from me. She said, I'm going to have to put you on hold a few times, and we'll see what we can figure out on this. I said, all right. So she put me on hold once, came back a little later and said that the dealer had no record that I ever had an appointment made for service at that dealer. And that kind of they scheduled me 3 times, and there was no record of it. And I told her that, and she just didn't have an answer for me. And I was like, well, I mean, I bought the truck there. I just told her, I said, well, I even had the first oil change, and there'd be a record of that. She couldn't find anything. She put me on hold 2 more times, calling the dealer, trying to figure out what was going on. And I was like, you don't have a record I bought it there. You don't have a record I did any service there. You don't have a record I had any appointments to have this exhaust leak looked at. And she just come up empty-handed. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then we confirmed it was the right dealership over and over. Who I was, confirmed the VIN, and was getting nowhere. And at one time she said, well, it's a they said you said thing. And then she said there really wasn't nothing I could do about it. I mean, what she was doing, she said she was opening a case investigation and gave me this case number. So, obviously she was prepared to take some sort of action in regard to this. But, there was no, she couldn't point blame at either one of us. She was accusing one of us of lying, and I knew I was right, so... But I couldn't prove that to her. Now, I do have some paperwork. I didn't have it with me at the time when I was on the phone with her, but I do have some paperwork where I had the oil change done. So I have a record of that. Now, why that was not found at the dealer, I have no idea. But that said, I am not comfortable with taking this truck to a dealer that, number one, they don't even have records of my appointments. They don't have records of my service, apparently. I mean, what if I have an engine issue down the road under warranty and I can't prove it's been serviced? I mean, that's pathetic. So that's that. I blew my top. I'm not darkening the door of Landry's McCarty, Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Huntsville ever again. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm on my soapbox about it. I'm mad about it, and I don't like it. I told them, it made my wife sick one time when the exhaust was coming in the cab. It was one of the first times it did it, and I didn't really realize what was going on. But for them to just schedule appointments and just push me off and reschedule them at will, I'm too busy to have somebody think that they can just, have me come in at will whenever they want me there. Not when I need to be there or can be there, but when they think. I'm not doing that. So that's done, over. I don't know what's wrong with them regarding that, but so be it. That's just what it is. So here's what's going on. Well, shoot, I left out a little tidbit of information. The lady from Ram wanted to reschedule to have it looked at again with the main manager of the service department at Landry's McCarty. And she was going to schedule that for the 12th of April, which was another week later than the guy had scheduled me the last time on the phone this past Thursday, when he put me off again, if you follow all that. But anyway, so all she said she could do was give him another chance because of this I said they said thing and no records of these appointments. So I don't know. And the sad thing was, the guy I dealt with the first time when I had the oil change done, I never did deal with that guy again, but there was another guy that dealt with me. I never got his name. I never got any paperwork from him because they never did do anything. And I went to their website, and they've actually got pictures of all their service people on there. And I was looking through there, and I was trying to ID the guy, and I couldn't. I wanted a name. I just wanted to tell the lady, look, this was the guy. I mean, I don't know. He may have denied it all up and down. I really don't know what's going on with that dealership. But anyway, enough of that. Moving on from there, the truck is now going to be going to another dealer. I'm not going to say who that is just yet, but I am going to take the truck to another dealer. Hopefully, uh, they'll get it looked at and fixed this time. Which, when I called them, I got a guy right off the bat, and I told him I was having trouble getting it, in. And look, I didn't go into all the details, but I just told the guy I was having an issue getting it looked at. And he got his schedule out, and he said, "Oh, I got a list of all my diesel tech schedules here." And he said, "Looks like we can get you in Tuesday, which is this upcoming Tuesday, it'll be the 5th of April." And I'll have a guy here ready to look at it early in the morning. I said, all right, that sounds good. So, that's where we stand right now on the diesel exhaust leak here on the Ram. Um, I I hope that they're able to, figure it out and whatnot. I mean, hopefully they'll at least look at it. I mean, that's pretty pathetic. You carry a truck to a dealer. It was in there twice. Like I said, it was in there all day the one day, and they didn't even look at it. But yeah, I just hopefully they'll get it looked at this time. But I'm done with the Landers people. Uh, that, like I said, when that lady Ram come back said they didn't even have a record, I bought it there. That something major's going wrong there. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know why the lady wouldn't believe me, but I mean, I wouldn't waste my time to call her up and complain about what's going on with this dealer for nothing. I mean, crying out loud. But I don't know. It's one guy at work said it the other day. It's just the way of the world now, I reckon. It's just, I don't know. Everything's going downhill with people. They just, any kind of service or anything, it's just like people don't care anymore like they used to. But oh well, I was gonna get on my soapbox about that, let y'all guys know what's going on with the exhaust leak. Again, I like the truck, um, and I'm not knocking the truck. I mean, I'm hoping they'll find the leak and take care of it. And like I've said before, I could probably crawl under here. I've got a good idea of where the leak is coming from, and I could probably torque up a few bolts and be done with it. But it's the fact that it is there, and the fact that some of these components in the exhaust system are very, very expensive. So I want, since it's under warranty, I want them to look at it and try to fix it and have a record of that. That was another thing that bothered me. Kept carrying into Landers. They finally look at it and whatnot. And they don't have any record of it. I mean, it's just, I don't know, that's just stupid. But anyway, so before I do anything, I thought it best to just carry it on in, let them look at it, let them document it, let them get it in their system that this truck has an exhaust issue, and if it becomes this reoccurring thing where they start swapping out expensive parts, it won't be on me maybe. So that's the deal. But anyway, hopefully it's just it's simple. Like I said, it's just it's some joints that need to be tightened up, but we'll see. But again, it only does it in regen. If you hadn't watched my previous videos leading up to this about the truck, It only does it during a passive regen when you're stopped. It comes in. I guess it's leaking the whole time, but when you stop and you're not moving, that exhaust rises and comes in the fresh air vents of the truck, and you get raw exhaust, diesel exhaust in the cab of the truck. So that's the whole deal behind this. If you got this far and trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, one more time here, people. There it is. I'm staying away from them. You can make your own call on whether you want to deal with them or not. That's my 2 cents worth. We'll see you.